Hey guys, what's up? It's Jonathan with One Big Impact. So first of all, today's video is going to be basically what are portion sizes, what should they look like, and a good general rule of thumb if you don't have these things with you. So I want to welcome all members of the One Big Impact 60-day challenge. We literally have 7 days left. So it is beyond crunch time, okay? Get serious, get a few more pounds, get your exercise in, and get all those things ready. Make sure you're drinking your water and staying fit and healthy. And also, you should be doing your self-care posts on Healthy Living for a Healthy Life, our Facebook group. So without further ado, let's get started, guys. Okay, so as for what the world is going to tell you as to opposed what I'm going to tell you, if you're following like a low carb regimen or an Atkins regimen or something like that, remember that it can be different than what's on the bag. It can be different than the United States federal whatever agency or whoever marks the bags. I don't know the name right now. I think it's USDA. Oh my gosh, that was way too many letters. Let's backtrack and not try to get all scientific right now. Not that that's scientific. Anyway, if I tell you 2 cups of lettuce, it means 2 cups of lettuce like this. If I tell you 2 cups of spinach, yes, it means raw spinach, which is like in the bag, in the lettuce department, in the vegetable department. It doesn't mean 2 cups necessarily of like liquid, the canned spinach, because that would be probably like 10 cups, I would say, or something like that. So totally different. You don't have to pack it in fully, like cram it in there. Obviously, that's going to just fluff it in there. Trust me, when it fluffs back out, it'll be plenty. So keep that in mind. But the bag will say probably 1.5 cups is a serving. So don't go by that. Go by what the meal plan says. If I say 2 cups, if I say 3 cups, if I say 1 cup, just go by that. Don't worry too much about what the bag says or something like that. So the next thing is 5 to 6 ounces of protein is going to be about the size of a Post-it note. Full pack, which is this is about a half pack. But if you can see, it will cover just about your whole palm. Now, if I had to draw it out, I don't want you to do your entire palm necessarily well, I won't draw it, okay, but I'll show you. It'll be basically like across here, down, and then back over and up. I don't know how I did that in reverse, but you know what I'm saying, like a deck of cards, a good section of your palm. But don't be like, oh yeah, it fits my entire palm, because that can be the difference between 100 to 200 extra calories, and then you multiply that times 3 times a day, you could end up with 600 to 800 extra calories. Am I saying calorie count? No. But I'm saying whatever comes in has to go out, and if you're adding more and you're not up in your exercise or whatever, keep that in mind. Although if you are doing a really strenuous exercise regimen and you need that extra protein, it's okay to go from 6 ounces to 8 ounces per meal or something like that. But definitely keep in mind, you have to be on those active days. If it's like a rest day, maybe you don't need as much proteins or as much calories because you're not going to be expelling much calories. The next thing is, and this I know is not necessarily all steered towards low carb living. So I want to first of all say, I don't want you to go eat what I'm about to talk about, okay? But if you do, keep it in mind. Ice cream is a half of a cup, okay? A lot of people don't realize that, but it's literally the size of a tennis ball. I don't have a tennis ball here because I just don't have a tennis ball. But it's about the size of a tennis ball. My problem personally is I will eat 57 tennis balls of ice cream, okay? So I try to stay away from it because that is one particular thing that I don't function well under. So you definitely need to keep that in mind. About the size of a tennis ball is about as far as you're going to want to go with ice cream. If you can't handle that, you probably should stay away from it. The next thing is fish. Fish is going to be a little bit larger of a piece rather than the steak or whatever, the steak or the hamburger or whatever. Like I said with the Post-it note, it's going to be the size of a checkbook, which is about right there roughly. So it's going to be a little bit longer. Usually they cut them into about the size that you should get when you buy the fillets and stuff like that. So usually you're perfectly fine. That's going to be about 5-6 ounces there. Cheese, a piece of cheese, or I could say a cheese or healthy fat. Cheese, peanut butter, well, we'll just say cheese and peanut butter for now, is going to be about the size of your thumb. Now, I would not, technically this would be a good 2 tablespoons, but I would say keep it right around in the center, just over the tip of your thumb. And you're like, well, my hands are bigger, my hands are smaller. Usually that's because you're a bigger or smaller person. So keep it to the size of what your thumb is, not what your husband or wife's thumb is. Unless you're trying to reduce your calories or something like that, you can definitely go small. But keep that in mind. Peanut butter is definitely something that you don't want to overindulge in. If it says 1 tablespoon, that'd be about the size of the tip of your thumb. You could do twice that, or this whole thumb right here, if you're looking to do 2 tablespoons. And the tip of your thumb, I'd say, is roughly about 1 ounce of cheese. Maybe a little bit bigger, but not too much. Oil and butter, another healthy fat, is going to be about the tip of your pointer finger is going to be about 1 tablespoon. Okay? And some people are going to say it's a teaspoon, whatever. I got big fingers, okay? Just calm down. So if you double that, that would be 2 tablespoons. And these are just ways of understanding kind of different types of things associated with. And the reason I'm showing you sizes is because a lot of people will say, well, I didn't have a measuring cup, so, well, here's the video that tells you that's irrelevant and you're not allowed to say that. So the next thing is a lot of people, including like Jennifer and different people out there, are doing like keto pancakes, and everybody's doing a lot of different things, and that's perfectly acceptable, okay? But a general portion size, and this could be different depending on what your meal plan is made up of. Maybe your macros or micros are different than other people's, and that's perfectly fine. But a general rule of thumb is that a keto pancake should be about the size of a CD, like a DVD, a Blu-ray. Let me show you. I know you know what one looks like, but I'm just going to show you for... Oh my gosh, I don't have a video. My kids run off with my videos. So, this should be about the size of your keto pancake. It should not be much more than that. And I know you know what a DVD looks like or whatever, but I'm just reminding you, a lot of the times people can say, oh, these are great for me, which they can be, but if you go too high on the portions, your calories are going to be way off. Keto pancakes can be great for you, but if you eat 4 that are this big, you might as well just went to like an all-you-can-eat buffet and just ate literally whatever you wanted to, because it's pointless to overeat. You're literally defeating the whole purpose. The next thing is beans, okay, like legumes or whatever they call them. About the size of a light bulb, which is actually bigger than pasta, which is actually the size of an ice cream scoop, which might throw you off a little bit, but a lot of people are actually saying lower the pasta because obviously the carbohydrates and things like that. So it is actually, it's funny because how often have you eaten a mound of spaghetti? And no wonder why, you know, we have an epidemic of getting overweight and stuff, including myself, because I've never eaten just an ice cream scoop of pasta. So beans are definitely about the size of a light bulb. They have lots of fiber, good nutritional content, but if you're following a low carb regimen, it's probably not going to be something you're going to do, at least in the first phase. I'm not even sure if we reintroduce it later. I'll have to check on that. But a potato, which can be very good. You guys, if you've been following me a while, one of my favorite foods is actually a sweet potato. They are absolutely amazing. But the problem is with potatoes is they come in, sweet potatoes specifically, they come in a giant sweet potato. Okay, that's way too much more than what you actually need to be consuming. I can consume 2 or 3 or 4 of those giant potatoes without any issues whatsoever. But it's not bad. Potatoes should be about the size of a mouse. About the thickness of it, that's a little small for a mouse, but about a computer mouse. That should be literally the size of your potato. So definitely keep that in mind. Rice, okay? Brown rice, hopefully. White rice, sometimes. It depends on what you're doing to follow your specific regimen. Now, rice should be about the size of a tennis ball as well. Going back to like ice cream or whatever. But I would say a little bit fuller of a tennis ball, but still don't go overboard on rice, because the idea with these portions is that your body's not going to be able to process, you know, so much food if you're eating every 2-3 hours. Even if you're eating once a day, okay, your body can only process and get rid of waste and poo it out or whatever only so much food. Okay, if you're consuming 5 cups of rice and 3 cups of broccoli and, you know, 9 ounces of steak and 2 ounces of cheese, your body's not going to be able to work through that in time, and it's going to get stored as fat. I talk sometimes about gluconeogenesis. If you consume too much protein, it will convert itself to fat. Okay, it's going to happen. Whatever your body can't use, its superpower is to be able to store it for later, because it doesn't know what it's going to eat again. Unfortunately, in the 21st century, we literally eat an hour later, so it will be stored as fat. Don't overeat on sizes. Next, fruit. It's about the size of your fist, okay? I know that's pretty big for some of us, so definitely be careful. It can have lots of natural sugars and stuff. Obviously, fruit does have its positive nutritional aspects, but just remember, 1,000 years ago, or 100 years ago even, or 200 years ago, maybe not 100 years ago, about 200 years ago, we literally ate whatever was in season. Apples weren't in season 24/7. We didn't have grocery stores where we could go, you know, pick up nectarines 24/7. It was literally once a year they would bloom, and we'd have the ability. And then most of the year it was like alternating vegetables. So keep that in mind, you guys. We weren't eating fruits 24/7. I know a lot of you vegans and stuff, and people out there are vegetarians or fruit nuts or whatever. I understand, I get it, but you also need to think about it. Hey, bananas aren't growing 24/7. They're not, you know, they go through a process and they have to be able to bloom, and then we can eat them, you know, at that certain time of year. So probably most likely a lot of them are like around, fruits definitely bloom at all different times of the year, but a lot of them go right after winter and stuff like that. Oh, that reminds me. I think my oranges are done with that. I have a little orange tree, and I actually give them to the neighbor, which happens to be my aunt and uncle, because I don't eat oranges. I love them, but obviously I don't love them. I like oranges, but obviously they're not in my regimen. So you guys, that's my video for today. I hope it helped. If you have any questions, or if you have a tip for somebody else that can be helpful, please put it in the comment section below, like maybe a size or something that I missed. Maybe you can put it in the description below. I appreciate you guys' hard work. Have a beautiful day. Remember to spread love, not hate. Hashtag be stronger than your excuses, and keep up the great work. Also, we only have one more weigh-in. If you have not yet, you need to weigh in today. Send your weigh-ins in and keep up the good work. Bye guys, see you later.